Okay, dear student, today our next chapter will be your height and distance. Okay, in this chapter part, we are just, you can say that this is the application of trigonometrical ratio. Okay, clear? So, height means height of a building, and distance means distance of the observer from the foot of your building or tower or cliff, whatever it may be. So there are few definitions that also you have to keep in mind. Number one is your line of sight. Line of sight. What does it mean? That means the line segment joining the object, or you can say point, object which is to be observed. The line segment joining the object which is to be observed and the eye of the observer. Okay, is termed as line of sight. Suppose O position is the eye of your observer. As for example, suppose O is the position of the eye of the observer. Eye of the observer want to see the top of a building. Suppose this is the building and this is the top of your building. Here A is the position of your top of building and B is the base of the building, or tower, or pole, or cliff, or lighthouse. So this is your height. And the observer is at O, eye of the observer is at O. The line segment joining the eye of the observer and the point, but suppose this observer want to see the top of the building, then this line segment is the line of sight. This line segment is the line of sight. So here OA is the line of sight. Clear? So this is your line of sight, because observer is watching the top of the building. Clear? So after line of sight, now our next part is the angle of elevation. You see, angle of elevation means, suppose this is your top of a building. This is the building or a pole or a hill, and here the person is at a distance of, say the observer is at O. This is the building AB and top of building is your A, and the angles formed between the line of sight and the horizontal. This level is the horizontal. So the angle formed between the so this is your angle of elevation. Angle of elevation is the angle between the line of sight and horizontal is termed as angle of elevation. Because the person, when he want to see the top of a building, his line of sight has to be raised upward from the horizontal level. This is the horizontal level of the eyesight of the person. he want to see the top of a building. So he have to elevate the line of sight up to a particular angle. So that is the angle of elevation. So this angle is the angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. Okay. Clear? And this is the height. This is the height of your building or tower or lighthouse, and from the foot of the building or tower lighthouse to the observer is your distance. Okay. Clear? Now the next part of this topic is your depression. What does the depression mean? Now we will come to the depression. That is your angle of depression. Angle of depression. Suppose the person is at the top of a building and he want to observe any object present on the road. Road is definitely in the level of your foot of the building or foot of the tower. So this is the road level. And the person who is on the top of the building want to observe the object lying on the road. So what will be happen? This will be when the person is in the top of the building, this is the original level, that is the horizontal level of his line of sight. But when he want to see the person on the road, his line of sight has to be depressed. His line of sight has to be depressed. That means now his eye falling downward. Now his eye gradually shifting to downward, not elevate. Okay. So that means now this line of sight has to be lowered downward. So as a result of which the angle formed between the line of sight AO and the horizontal, this is your angle of depression. This angle is the angle of depression. Angle of depression. Okay. So this angle can be also taken as your theta. So this is your angle of depression. Here when you are on the top of a building and you want to observe any object, person standing on the road which is maybe few meters away from the foot of the tower, then this angle is your angle of depression. Ideally this angle of depression must be equal to the angle of elevation. So now the definition of angle of depression is the angle formed between the line of sight and horizontal when the observer is at the top of a building or tower, etc., and the object is lying on the road. So that means the angle formed between the line of sight and the horizontal when the observer is at the top of a building or tower, etc., and the object means the object which the person want to see. The object is lying on the road. Okay, is termed as angle of depression. Angle of depression. So ideally, you see this one is also horizontal level, and this foot of this distance of the previous one, this is also horizontal. The road level or the level of your foot of the tower or building is also horizontal. This is also horizontal. So both horizontals are parallel to each other, and this line of sight will act as your transversal. So here they are also equal because of the alternate angle. So therefore so therefore we can write it as your, therefore angle of depression of O from A must be equal to angle of elevation of A from O. Why these are equal? Because of your alternate. Both horizontals are parallel to each other, and line of sight will act as your transversal. So after this basic concept, and also you have to keep in mind the ratio of two sides of a right angle triangle and various values like natural sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant, and the standard angle of these ratio of particular angles that you have to keep in mind to solve. Okay, basically in this chapter we have to keep in mind mostly, or you can say widely used, is your the value of tan 30 degree, tan 60 degree, tan 45 degree. Apart from that, in some cases you may use cosine value, and you can use also sine value for these particular angles like 30 degree, 45 or 60 degree. So generally if we are using in standard angle, otherwise if there will be other than this standard angle, maybe the acute angle from 0 degree to 89 degree, and for that you have to see the trigonometrical table that is provided in your book from the back page. Okay, now I will explain you some numericals related to this chapter, that is your height and distance. Height and distance. This is the name of your chapter. Say, keeping in mind all these explained right now, you have to solve this question. Suppose the length of a string, between kite and a point on the ground is 85 meter. Suppose the length of string between kite and a point on the ground is 85 meter, and it makes an angle of say theta with the ground, such that tan theta is the tan theta is 15 by 8. find the height of the kite. So you see the length of a string between the kite. Suppose this is your kite. Suppose this is your kite that is flying in the sky. This is your kite. And this is the string. And this much will be the height of kite. So first of all, from the question, you have to draw the diagram. Say AB is the height of kite from the earth surface, from the ground surface, and this much is the length of string. This much is the length of string, that is your 85 meter, and the angle formed on this ground between the string and the ground is your theta. Clear? So you have to find the height. You have to find the height of kite. So you have to write the first given part given in the figure alongside. In the figure alongside AC equal 85 meter. That is the length of string. Length of string. Okay. Angle of elevation of kite. Angle of elevation of kite from C is your theta, and tan theta is your 15/8. So this much of information it is given. Now your target is to find the height of your kite. To find AB. So you know tan theta is 15/8, so that means this is your AB by BC. Okay, so you can use let AB equal to, AB is your 15x unit, or you can say you can take meter as your unit, and BC is your 8x meter. So from these two data, by using your Pythagoras theorem, you can find out AC. Therefore, AC will be equal square root of 15x whole square plus 8x whole square. So this much is your, by using Pythagoras theorem. So this is your 225x square plus 64x square is your square root of 289x square, means ultimately this is your 17x. Here AC is your 17x. And the value of AC is given. The value of AC is given. So according to question, 17x is your 85 meter. So therefore x will be equal 85 by 17, that is 5 meter. So here x is the HCF between AB and BC. So after finding x, now you can find the height of your, therefore height of kite, that is your AB, is your 15x. That is your 15x means 15 into 5 meter, which is equal to 75 meter. You have got it? Now I have to proceed for the next question, so I have to remove it. Say another example, say question number 2. In this question, you see the two pillars of equal height, two pillars of equal height stand on the either side of a road, on the either side of a road. So two pillars of equal height stands on the either side of a road, and you know road which is 20 meter apart, or you can say wide, 20 meter wide. So that means the road is 20 meter wide and two pillars which are of equal height stands on the either side. Clear? So now next our main question, at a point in between the pillar. Now at a point in between the pillar, the angle of elevation of the top of the pillars from that point are 60 degree and 30 degree respectively. Okay, are respectively. The angle of elevation for first pillar is your 60 degree, and for the second pillar it is 30 degree. Clear? Now find. You have to find the height of the. Definitely, you have to find the height of the pillars. Find the height of the pillar and from where the top of the pillar are observed. Try to understand the question, because in this type of question you have to first draw the diagram, because there is no diagram mentioned in this question. So after studying these, you have to draw the diagram, then you have to solve. So here also you see two pillars of equal height stands on either side of a road which is 20 meter apart, and at a point in between the pillars the angle of elevation of the top of the pillars from the point are 60 degree and 30 degree respectively. So now you have to find out the height of the pillars as well as the point from which the top of the pillars is to be observed. Okay, clear? So first you have to draw the diagram. For diagram, you see Suppose this is the width of the road. Width of the road is your 20 meter. And one pillar, both pillars are of equal height. This is one pillar and this one is another pillar. Both the pillars are of equal height. Angle of elevation is 60 degree as well as 30 degree. You see, elevation 30 degree, angle of elevation is less when the observer lies greater distance from the foot of the pillar. So that means suppose this is the point of observation. Say this is A point is the point of observation. Or you may write O point. O is the point of observation. From here, this distance is shorter and this distance is longer. Both are the pillars and the pillars are A, B and C, D. Pillars are A, B and C, D. You see, the angle of elevation for the pillar which is greater distance from O is your 30 degree. And which is nearer is 60 degree. You got it? Now you have to write given in the figure alongside. AB equal to CD equal to height of pillar. Say this is your H meter. Here observer is at O. Okay, angle of elevation of E from O is 60 degree. Similarly, angle of elevation of D from O is your 30 degree. Clear? Now you have to find out the, and you see the width of road. Width of road, that is your BC. It equal 20 meter. This much is also given. This is your 20 meter. So let distance of O from B is your, from B, or you can say AB. AB means the pillar AB is your, say, X meter. So this you can take it as your X meter. So OC will be 20 minus X meter. So therefore distance of O from CD is your 20 minus X, this much of meter. Clear? Your height is your H. You have taken height as your H. So here you see height and this distance you have to find out. So you use the trigonometrical ratio of your tan theta. So we have tan 60 degree equal H by X, because X is your, for 60 degree angle, X is the distance of the base, and you know tan 60 degree is your root 3 equal H by X. So here you can write H equal root 3x meter. So this is your equation 1. Now you for take similarly tan 30 degree equal to h by 20 minus x. And you know the value of tan 30 is your 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is your h by 20 minus x. Clear? So then, what will be the value of your h? Value of your h equal 20 minus x by root 3. So this much of meter. So this is your equation 2. So first equation h equal to root 3x, second one is this. So both are h and both are of same height. So you can compare it. Okay, according to question, now from 1 and 2, you have 20 minus x by root 3 must be equal to root 3x. Okay, so 20 minus x by root 3 must be equal to root 3x, because this from equation 1 that the root 3x is the value of h, and from equation 2 20 minus x by root 3, so both will be equal. So after that you just cross multiply it, then 20 minus x must be equal to root 3 into root 3x. So this will be your 3x. Now what you will do? Transpose minus x to right side. So that means 20 equal 3x plus x. So 4x will be equal to 20. So your x will be 20 by 4 means 5 meter. So that means the distance of first pillar is your 5 meter. Clear? So it is clear from this. Therefore, distance of first pillar is your 5 meter. This is also one of the answer. And distance of second pillar is your 20 minus 5, that is equal 15 meter. Here, now your distance already done. Now you have to find out the height. Therefore, for height there are two equations you have got. Therefore h equal, as you know, h equal root 3x. So root 3 into x is your 5 meter. So that means height is your 5 root 3 meter. So in terms of the value, you just multiply 5 into 1.732. So that means this is your 5 to 10, 5 3 15 plus 1 16, again 1 in hand, 7 5 35, 1 36, 3 in hand, 5 1 5 as your 8. So after that you have to put your decimal after 3 decimal place. So this is your approximate value is your 8.66 meter. So this is the height of your pillar. This is the height of your pillar. Okay, this much is sufficient for today. Next day again I will come with your various hot questions of this chapter. Bye.